Alright guys, get this camera to flip around here. Well, I can't get it to flip around. Alright guys, so we have a 2011 GMC Terrain with the 2.4 liter LAF engine. It's got a P0420 code. All of you guys have dealt with these before with the cracked exhaust manifolds. There's a TSB about new exhaust manifold catalytic converter combinations. They have issues with needing to be burned in or gassed out first. Hey Miguel, how are you? So I'll make this pretty quick. This is going to be probably a different test than what you guys normally do, but this is GM's version of this test, and it's kind of the best way to do it on most GMs, because this is the test they use to determine if a cat is good or bad. At least the PCM, the fuel control strategy, is designed this way. So we can go through and read all the freeze frame data and stuff, but I'm going to make this video pretty short for you guys. We're going to go to live data. We're going to go to our exhaust after treatment section. So you're going to look at a couple things. So this catalyst monitor not at idle test conditions met is no. We got to get that into yes first. So if you read through, hey Hassan, hey Brian, if you read through the factory service information for the DTC set conditions for this, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold the throttle up over 900-ish RPM or something. I'm going to paraphrase the exact OE information because I haven't read it in a while, but I do this test the same way every time. Let's see. So we got to hold RPM. I think it's like above 20 seconds or something. It's got to be in closed loop. It's got to be running for a few. So I usually just go test drive the vehicle, put it in park, hold the RPM up, put the park brake on. We're going to hold it for a minute. And in a second, this catalyst monitor, not at idle test conditions met, is going to say yes. And as soon as we get it up to yes, we're going to be able to put the vehicle into gear. We have to get it out of park or neutral. We're going to let it idle and put it into gear. And then this inactive status for the actual test state is going to go active. And then when we do that, okay, so see, we've got the test conditions yes. So I'm going to go ahead and graph our O2 sensors, pre and post. We're going to pull those up, and we're going to see just these here. So we've got it up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop the RPM down to idle and put it into park, and within about a minute or so, we're going to see the PCM add fuel. It's going to add fuel, and you're going to see your front and rear O2s both go rich. And then what it's going to do is going to cut the fuel off. So it's going to do a DFCO, a deceleration fuel cutoff. Now that strategy, it's going to measure the time it takes between the difference between the front and the rear to go back lean, to measure the actual oxygen storage capacity of the catalytic converter. That is the test that it does in order to pass or fail or condemn a catalytic converter. So we'll see the test result says no decision, so we'll add that in there too. Change our time base a little. All right, so here we go. We're going to go idle, and we're going to go into a gear, and it should say test state says inactive. Here in a second, it's going to go active. No, it's not. We have to get this thing to go back to conditions met yes, and then we have to let it idle for a second. Oh, I got someone back here beating on this thing, trying to mess with me. It's Paul, one of the guys at the shop here. Another Keith diagnosing live. Yes, unfortunately so. Is it Maggot or Majid? Well, hello. So we'll let off. We'll go gear. This one's fighting me. Let's see here. Actually, there it went. It started to when I pulled the RPM up. I apologize, guys. I've done this test 100 times, and I probably should have tried it first on this vehicle before I actually went live, but I thought I'd make a really quick video, and of course they never work for you that way. Alright, catalyst monitor, not at idle, test conditions met. Interesting. Why it doesn't want to do that. It can be, hey Pedro, it can be done on a lot of different vehicles. GM uses this strategy for most of their stuff. So let's try. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to get this thing to go. We're already 6 minutes in. I kind of wanted this to be like a little 3-minute stream. I'm positive I've done it on this year before. There may be a condition that I'm missing. So we're gonna, it says not met, so we're gonna go ahead and just let it. Let's see. I'm trying to baby this thing into it. Interesting. Well, how's everybody else's day going while we're trying to get this thing to go? Well, it doesn't appear though. It does not appear as though this thing is going to cooperate with me. That's interesting. Not exactly sure what to do at this point. May have to refer to some service information here, and we'll see what I'm missing. Because normally, hey Wyatt, normally I can get this thing to kick right off. The catalyst monitor test says active. You see it go rich on both upstream and downstream, and then we see it kick off to run the test, and then that catalyst monitor test result goes from no decision to either a pass or fail, and you can kind of get an idea. Hey Justin. Well, this is highly disappointing. Well, let's scroll back and take a look at some mode 6 data and see if tell you what, let's go back. I really would like this test to run. Oh, phone just keeps going off. And you can see that this counter's ran 26 times since, probably since codes were cleared, or since, yeah, probably since just codes were cleared. That's my only assumption. Well, there is definitely some other issue going on why it won't run this monitor. It has ran this monitor 26 times. That is very interesting. Well, let's go back and look at mode 6 data and see what we can find. I think it's usually really hidden in the GM section here. So let's go to generic. See if I can flip this camera around. Do I want to stop streaming? No. It's screaming at me to rotate the device. Well, it's nice of you guys to hang out with me for no reason, considering I can't get anything to work today. Rich to lean thresholds, post-rich. Turn do not disturb on and still getting phone calls. Catalyst test bank 1 using DFCO exit test. So it shows failed there within the mode 6 data. Evap monitors look good. Purge test fail. Heater resistance. Got a couple misfires. Exponentially weighted moving average test shows some misfires as well. We may have some misfires going on this thing. Look at this, guys. 40 on cylinder 3, 26 on cylinder 2. Let's go back to this live data and take a look here. Take a look again and just see. Yeah, it doesn't appear as though it's going to run the test, so we may have to do a part 2 on this. Good morning, SKO. Yeah, we will probably have to do a part 2 on this. I got to figure out what these misfires are, see why this catalyst monitor is not running. There's definitely something going on. Of course, these things have pretty bad oil consumption issues. Well, guys, we will sign off of here, and I guess I'll jump back on in a bit when I can figure out more about what's going on with this thing. We'll try one more time with this test. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it. Normally it's pretty simple just to get this test to run. Just hold the RPM up. I guess I got kind of a misleading title on this now, considering it's not really the best test if you can't actually get it to work. I don't know about nice try, Wyatt. Obviously, I didn't read the service information. Maybe I should practice what I preach a little. Yeah, it's definitely not liking what's going on. I'll try a key cycle, and then I'm going to give up. I'm sure it's going to say it doesn't like me here in a second. Of course, I've never tried to do one of these tests right after a key cycle, so. Still says condition, yes. Cow's monitor state still inactive. It should go active whenever it decides to run this test, which is usually within a minute. I don't know if it's a good Diagun. Having troubles getting this monitor to run. It's difficult to do it setting still, though, too. Absolutely part of the game. Otherwise, this job would just be easy, wouldn't it? Well, it should have ran the monitor now, interestingly enough. See here. Fuel control's good. Cat temp is good. I think the specification's somewhere between like 500 and 1900 degrees. It's in closed loop. It always makes it that much better when you get one that fights you and then you finally beat it. There's that much bigger sense of accomplishment. Map, barrow, deceleration, fuel cutoff. What do we have down here? Talking to myself, sorry. 5-volt references. Engine run time's only 3 minutes. See, I don't know if there has to be a longer run time. Oop. Because if the catalyst monitor non-idle test conditions are met, and then you come down to an idle, and usually it runs the test. Oh, there it goes. Active. So let's watch these. Watch this O2 data. It should spike. I'll change the time base. It should start to come up rich. There it goes. There's the PCM adding fuel and enriching. Oh, it feels so good. Cuts fuel off. You see the front O2 sensor. Ah, there we go. All right, I'm going to freeze this. All right, so the test conditions were met. It went active on the catalyst test monitor. I'm so glad you guys stuck with me. We see the counter went up 1. Then the test results are failed. So why did it fail? I mean, this cat was lit off. The front 2 sensor was switching. The rear one was up rich. It was absorbing oxygen. This should have been a good cat, right? Well, the true test for, at least under GM's PCM fuel control strategy, is the difference in time between when it cuts the enrichment off and you see the front O2 sensor notices the enrichment cuts off. It goes back down. Quotations for lean. It's I would say it's just a more oxygen condition. And then the rear O2 notices that after the cat. So it's looking for a longer period of time between this. It's looking for this oxygen sensor, or sorry, it's looking for this catalytic converter to absorb oxygen for a much longer period of time is what it's wanting. It's wanting it to hang rich a little longer. Now, we don't know that exact number because that's all in the engineering, but we do know that according to its test that it just ran, it failed this. So I'll give you guys the rest of the backstory on this real quick. This vehicle had a cat installed, an aftermarket catalytic converter from an aftermarket supplier, and there was issues with this one leaking because it did not come with studs. They used the bolts and nuts. It was just a cheap aftermarket converter. So here we go. We got a good brand new. New is an acronym. Never ever worked. And this one, I don't know how long it worked. I don't know the complete history of the vehicle. I just know it just had a cat put on it not too long ago, and it's back for a 420 code after some exhaust leaks. The exhaust leaks were fixed. We used the little shop vac test was the very first thing that they did. They learned that test from the Trained by Techs video. If you guys check that out, there's a really great video on how to test for exhaust leaks. Tanner did that with some instruction from John Rogers, kind of let us know about that. But this is the best test for this vehicle because that's GM's test. This is what they used to set this DTC. So if we had cleared the codes and we did this, because this DTC is an A-type, almost all emissions catalytic converter efficiency tests are an A-type, so they will spray bottle and soap. That's right. Hook a shop back up on the blower side to the exhaust and use spray bottle and soap. But P0420 codes are DTC type A, so it's a one-trip failure. So as soon as we would have done that test, the P0420 would have come back. So this thing, being in good fuel control, well, it didn't register the rest of that when I froze it. It was in good fuel control. There are no exhaust leaks. There are no TSB or there's also no software updates to address this. This vehicle needs an OEM catalytic converter. So there you go, guys. Thank you for hanging with me. I apologize for the additional 20-minute wait time that it required, but that's the test. That's what GM's looking for. They're looking for a longer period of time here, and it failed that. I don't know if we can. This isn't really a good indicator because it isn't much of a. So somewhere between 7 minutes and 18 seconds and 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So 7:19 it shut fuel off, and then at about 7:21ish we see it goes off. So 19:20. So 2 seconds. It's probably looking for 3 or 4. I'm sure it's within a millisecond range, or a certain millisecond range is what it's looking for. But there you go, guys. Appreciate you hanging with me. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you, SKO. We'll see you guys next time. See you, Miguel. Have a good one.